Shalom everybody, it's Akiva here, hope you're doing well. Hope you had an incredible week. Friday afternoon here in Israel, just coming home from work. I want to share with you guys a thought about this week's Torah portion, Parshat Vayeichi, the last portion of the first book of the Torah, Sefer Vayeichi, the book of Genesis. This week's Parsha talks about the end of the life of Yaakov and will bring us into the next important phase of Jewish history, the slavery in Egypt, but that's for next week. This week we see Yaakov's life coming to an end, and before he dies, he wants to bring his sons together and bless them. He gives each and every single one of them a blessing that's specific to their tafkid, their purpose, their work in the world. Right? Understanding this very important concept that each and every single one of us is here in this world for a unique reason. I love the teaching I once heard many years ago, that not only is an individual alive in this generation unique to this generation, let me say that again, not only is every individual who is alive today in this generation unique in his or her own life mission in this generation, but the same goes for all generations. Every single person alive today has a task to do that nobody else was ever brought into this world to accomplish. Right? With that in mind, how important is it and how more important it becomes that we find what we're supposed to do in this world and then obviously go and do it. Before Yaakov begins to share these blessings with his sons, he calls them together and he says to them, I want to share with you the end of the days. Acharit hayamim. What's going to be, what's going to happen, what it's going to look like. And then we learn that the divine spirit goes from him and he doesn't share that. He goes on with his blessings. It's interesting, this idea of the end of days, right? It's a very strange, obscure little part of this week's Torah portion and of the entire Torah itself. Why is Yaakov wanting to share the end of days with his sons? And why doesn't he in the end? What happens? I want to focus more on the latter, right? But also on this whole idea of the end of days. First of all, historically, historians talk about that one of the things that Jews and Judaism gave to the world is this idea of a forward movement of time. Right? We live in the world, we live within the laws of nature, and nature is very cyclical. Right? The cycles of time, the cycles of the year, of the seasons, and our holidays reflect that, and it's very important. It's very beautiful, these cycles of time. Right? But a cycle is also just a circle. It kind of keeps bringing you back to the same place. The Torah gives us another perspective of time, right? A forward movement of time. That yes, we live in this world of cycles and of circles, but they move forward, more like a spiral. We need to get somewhere where we're here to accomplish something, to go from one point to another, as individuals and as a world. And when Yaakov is sharing, or wants to share with his sons, this idea of what's going to be at the end of the world, maybe he's sharing with him, there is an end. Not that everything's going to stop or be destroyed, but there is a goal. There's a reaching point we're trying to get to. Right? So why doesn't he share that with him? What happens? My idea, my thought, my view on this is that maybe in that moment Yaakov realizes, you know what, how can I tell them what's going to be at the end? The end is not yet determined. So yes, in the world that God dwells in, the world above time, where past, present, and future are all one, there's no such thing as time really, the way we understand it. So there is an end. The end already happened, as we live in this moment as well today. But for us living here, second after second, day after day, the end has not happened yet. The end has not yet been created. Right? We are the creators of the end of the story. We are the creators of the future. And maybe that's the lesson that Yaakov was trying to give to his sons. That I can't tell you what's going to happen at the end because we haven't gotten there yet. You will create that end. Right? Our actions today will determine what will be tomorrow. And our actions in this generation will determine what will be in the future. Right? What an important life lesson. One of the most beautiful and simplest ideas of the Kabbalah that I extract from myself is this idea that every single one of our actions has an unbelievable influence, not only on ourselves, but on the entire world and the future of the world, the history of the world. Right? So with this in mind, I want to bless us, as this is a Torah portion of blessings. I want to bless us, myself, and you as well. That we should wake up every single day. We should have that daily consciousness, that daily awareness of the power of our actions, the blessings we make, the actions we do, the thoughts we think, the words we speak. they have an unbelievable impact on the world. If we hold on to this idea so closely, so dearly, we could have a tremendous positive impact on the world, right? And sometimes we get overwhelmed with the darkness in the world. Well, that can bring tremendous light. And our work in this world is not to destroy the darkness, but just to blind it with such intense, beautiful light until there's no more darkness in the world. Lots of love and blessing from the land of Israel. Shabbat Shalom. Be well.